Eduardo, I hope you're doing well. For in this opportunity, I saw the second video about design thinking. And in this opportunity, they were talking about 5 ways entrepreneurs can become more resilient. So something that they tell us you is that we need to embrace uncertainty. And why is this? We need to get our comfort zone every time. And they made an analogy and they say that getting out from our comfort zone, it's like a muscle. And every time that you exercise that muscle is going to grow and be stronger. So getting off our comfort zone, it's the same thing. I mean, we need to push our limits every time that we need to do something, for example, and that something scares us. We are pushing our limits, and that's what we need to do. We don't have to expect that we'll have we already know what it's going to happen tomorrow because we don't know that. And sometimes in life, we need to know what is going to happen, but we need to learn how to deal with this and not knowing what is going to happen, and that you are doing your best right now for that thing that happened. And the man who was giving this speech was a man who at university studied mathematics, and he was telling his story, and he said that when he graduated from college, some of his friends called him and offered him a job, but the job he offered him was sales, and he described himself as a nerdy person and shy. So something that have my attention is that he said, I don't know anything from sales, and I'm not the kind of person that you were looking for. But he said no. I mean, he said no to himself and went for it, and he learned how to sell. Then he became a partnership, and then he created his own companies. At the end, he created 5 companies, and one of them failed. I mean, that company broke up. And their time of line wasn't like linear. He was like doing this, doing that, and he was doing a lot of things. He wasn't just like, for example, if I study finances, I will just do that. And he doesn't get in that place. He was exploring another options, and maybe that's what we need to do. We need to get out of the box and explore the world. And the 5 things that he talked about resilient is that the first, see opportunities in uncertainty. And I think this is kind of true. We're not used to get out of our comfort zone, and for us it's like difficult, but they tell that you need to get out, like do something different every single day that push you away in a good way because you're going to grow. and that makes you feel emotional intelligent, that it's so important for this and for life. And another thing is harness the emotions of others. They were telling the example, I mean, they gave a lot of examples, and also they gave the examples, for example, of Steve Jobs and why everybody wanted an iPhone and why they feel good having an iPhone, and they doesn't mind to spend a lot of money in those kinds of phones, of computers, and that kind of technology. So he said, um, the people who harness the emotions of others is because they're selling you experience, they are selling you sensations, so they are selling you a meaning. So that's why people became so famous and their companies succeed, because they are not selling you a product, and maybe it's not the best product in the market. You can find other options in the market that are better than an iPhone, and that's so true. But why people still preparing iPhones? And that's the thing, the meaning. And he said something also about Mark Zuckerberg, and these two guys also inspire people, and that's what we need to do. I mean, we need to take advantage of emotions, and we need to know how to deal emotions, and I think that's something important that no one teaches how to deal with, and it's part of our learnings, and it's something that we are learning with the time. Another thing that they talk about is making sure you know whether you are missionary, mercenary in your mindset, and which one you are to be resilient. So what's the difference that they talk about between missionary and mercenary? So they say that a mercenary person is someone who always is working for the paycheck or the payment at the end of the month. You're only working for money. You don't have more motivation than money. So you don't enjoy your work, you don't enjoy to work with others, you don't enjoy your life because you're only working for money. And the difference with missionary is someone who works in the things that enjoy, in the things that they like, and they don't see, I mean, they are not looking for a reward like the payment check at the end of the month. So they're doing this because they want to do this and they enjoy it at the moment that when they are doing it. So I think it's the difference is clearly, and I like this metaphor that they were talking about. And also the other was knowing your strengths and weaknesses. I think this is kind of is important because knowing ourselves is something that we need to do and we must to do. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want, where do you want to go. And this is important because you can't work for something if you don't know what you want, because you work in order to the things you want to get or accomplish. So that's something really good. And know what you are good for and what you can't do and you are not good enough to do it. It doesn't mean that you cannot do it. I mean, but you have to know yourself in order to become what you want to become. So, and the last one they were talking about was see yourself as a salesperson. And they were talking about the rhetorical, and this rhetorical was logos, ethos, and pathos. And they told us that we need to get these things to be more to get emotional intelligence. So what is ethos? So this means establish personal credentials, getting your audience to trust you. So basically ethos is the trust in you that you will going to project to others to sell something. So this is ethos, and pathos is how you inspire others. And they gave the example again of the Steve Jobs and how he was giving their inspirational talks, and they give again the example of Apple and why people want a and still buying iPads. Logos is arguing based on reasons and facts, getting your audience to think. So they also talk about a lot of people think that you can be success also only with logos, and you need the three rhetoricals to be someone and to understand and to get where you want. I mean, to accomplish your goals. So this is what the video was, and I like a lot. I learned a lot of things I didn't know, and I also like the way they talk, because they gave you a lot of examples, and they gave you simple examples that you can understand, because they were not talking about something that you don't know. They were talking just about things that I think everybody knows. And they made the comparison between this and this and explain you how you can do it and what is what we're talking about and the things that you're going to face, and you're always going to fail. And it doesn't mean, I mean, it's not a real failure. They call learn, because failure doesn't exist. And they were talking, and they give an example of a person who was a student, and the student made an app, and this app was sold for $1 million. And the next year, this guy failed and lost all the money, and he started again, and he succeeded. I mean, you're not going to succeed at the first attempt, so we need to keep trying, and failures are just part of learning, and it's the way we learn, and it's the way we grow, and it's the way the muscle grows. It makes you stronger. So yeah, this is what I learned from these videos. So thank you. Till the next time.